This SoonerScoop.com video is streaming in crystal clear 4K resolution on YouTube thanks to Enjoy Vision in Oklahoma City. From the big plays to life's everyday moments, see it all in sharp focus with LASIK at Enjoy Vision. Enjoy Vision. This is where Sooner Scoop LASIKs.
Went indoors yesterday. Was that to keep material hidden? Was that to keep Texas espionage away? What was?
It's almost 90 degrees yesterday, and so the strain of a season is real. And up until here recently, we're the only team in the SEC that didn't have an indoor with an AC. So we got AC finally a couple of months ago. So just trying to be smart about, there's only so much tread on the tire, and practicing in 71-degree weather is a little different than 90 degrees. So just trying to be mindful of that.
You love it. Welcome back, Eddie Radosovich, George Stoy here from the SoonerScoop.com studios. A Tuesday of OU Texas Week. Brent Venables' press conference just wrapped up. You can watch that in its entirety on the SoonerScoop.com YouTube channel, as well as Ben Arbuckle, and certainly a morning worth of morning full of news. George Stoya, welcome in. What's going on? Pete Thamel puts out a report on Tuesday morning that John Mateer is ramping up, I believe, his.
I think he just said the report from Thamel. Hold on, I have it exactly here. Was basically like he's gonna he's like hoping to play, which was kind of not breaking news.
Very interesting.
I would assume that John Mateer is hoping to play, but here it is. It says pushing to return this week. So I think we kind of knew that.
Sure.
I know I put up a story on Sooner Scoop after that report that was basically like, yes, he's pushing to play this week. We know and have reported this that he was practicing in some capacity yesterday. I don't exactly know what that means, what extent that is. We know he's been kind of lightly throwing the ball around as well over the last few days. Does he have the strength to play? We'll find out. And then I thought, Brent's press conference today was very interesting. We knew he wasn't going to say a ton. He wasn't going to tip his hand, but I guess we'll get to those clips here in a second.
No doubt about it. Certainly interesting, though, because the Pete Thamel report comes out in about an hour before Brent Venables was scheduled to hit the podium.
See that Vegas line move?
Ben Arbuckle on the podium about 30 minutes before Brent. No, I haven't. What is the latest?
It's down to 1.5.
Down to 1.5. Opened up 3.5. So that is a 2-point swing here as maybe some John Mateer news comes to light. Certainly feels like we're heading towards a Saturday in which John Mateer is going to join his teammates on the field at the Cotton Bowl. Plenty to get into here on a William and Lauren practice report. Thank you to them as the official custom clothier of OU football. William and Lauren outfits your favorite OU players in custom suits that boost their confidence off the field to match their confidence on the field. Their perfectly tailored clothing ensures every suitor stands out in comfort and style at prices that make luxury accessible. Visit William and Lauren in Oklahoma City, or you can do so in Tulsa or online at williamandlauren.com. There's John Mateer and the right hand. williamandlauren.com. Dress like a champion to make your style as legendary as OU football. Look at those guys.
Those are good-looking suits.
We do appreciate the suited-up look. I know that Sooner and Suits always pined for that, right, online here over the last couple of years. Got that done. Thank you to our good friends over at William and Lauren. The stage was certainly set, right, for Brent Venables on Tuesday afternoon, and we can't say that we didn't try to get down to the bottom of it.
Yeah, hat tip to my good pals, Colton Sully of the Oklahoman and Mason Young of the Tulsa World. Those two and myself kind of huddled up before Brent's press conference.
That's right.
Came up with a little game plan on how to ask. Because, look, we knew going in that Brent wasn't going to want to tell us, he wasn't going to come out and say, John Mateer is going to play.
And why there's a lot of people that are going to say, why should he?
Exactly.
Right. We agree with you.
We agree. We just have to ask the question or try to get something out of him to find out, more information if we can. And so we kind of came up with a little bit of a plan of how to maybe approach the subject with Brent, and it was some fun back and forth, I would say.
There is no doubt about that. Here is Brent Venables on everything John Mateer from Tuesday.
Yeah, Brent, has John Mateer ramped up at all this week, and has he been able to throw the ball at all?
He's doing his normal protocol. He's done zero good-on-good work. I don't know. I'm just going to cut you off. I don't know anything about the injury. So I'm just, when they tell me he's available, I'll let y'all know.
I'm sorry. Brent, you talked last week just about balancing him wanting to play versus keeping him healthy the rest of the season and preserving that. Just how's that balance? How are you going about it?
I'm just lean on the doctors. I'm not an expert in any of it. So I literally, that's the extent of it.
When you have this situation with the quarterback this week, I know last week you knew it was going to be Michael. This week it seems like maybe it's up in the air. How do you go about it?
John is doing no good work, so it's Michael and Witt right now.
Okay.
So if something changes, I'll let you know.
How have you seen, I guess?
But I think if you're going to play, you got to do good on good, right?
Right.
Throw some skelly, hand the ball off, play on third downs. So
It's like 3 swings, and he was like ducking each one of them.
It was great. It was great gamesmanship. I love it.
No doubt about it. OU Texas Week. Obviously, the cold open as we opened up the program today. They did practice inside on Monday, which I think sent a number of tentacles up just amongst the media. Like, that's not normal. It was 90 degrees, 85 degrees, as I reported online. But certainly, it seems like there's a chance that John Mateer, maybe more than a chance, it seems like John Mateer is going to play. We will see. Obviously, the availability report, all that kind of good stuff starts on Wednesday at about 7 o'clock. You can look for that. It will be somewhat interesting. A whole, just same set of questions, basically. 30 minutes before Brent Venables got on the podium on Tuesday was presented to Ben Arbuckle. The same, but I thought maybe Ben was a little bit more open, I guess you could say, in terms of John Mateer's rehab process here through the early portions of the week.
Yeah, I would say he was a little bit more open, but neither one really said a whole lot.
Sure.
Also, neither one directly answered the question of, is he throwing the football, which I think kind of tells you that he is throwing the football. I think it also tells you that he is somewhat practicing, maybe not, full go or whatever it is, or maybe he's, limited in what he can do, but I would say the way that Ben answered the questions was a little bit different than Brent, and maybe gives you a little bit more insight. It also, again, the way that they're going about this makes me think that they believe there's a chance he's going to be able to play this week.
Can't say that they didn't try. They being the media. Here is a round with Ben Arbuckle talking John Mateer.
Yeah, Ben, how has John maybe ramped up his recovery so far with his injury, and has he been able to throw the ball at all at practice?
Like I said kind of last week, John's a very process guy. He's going to follow the directions given by the doctor, and if there's any sort of gray area, he may lean towards more the darker shade of the gray whenever it comes to a recovery process, and that's just because he's a competitor, and that's just kind of how he's wired. So, there's steps in the recovery process that he's having to follow right now, and doing a really good job with it.
What makes it difficult about an injury like this for quarterbacks? Is it the grip of the ball, the velocity, pain? Just what do you need to see from him, I guess, to know that he's ready to go?
I think with any injury to your dominant throwing hand, I think there's a bunch of different challenges that could come from it, but I think they're all mutually exclusive, right? Somebody could struggle with another thing from the same injury. So it all just goes about how he feels, how the recovery's going, how the doctors and training staff say everything's going. But I think it's all just different from case to case.
John maybe trying to push toward the gray area a little bit in a week like this where it's such a big game. How do you balance his desire to be able to play against wanting him to be healthy for the rest of the season?
That's a good question. I think John knows his body. I think he understands, ultimately what's best for the team, but, he doesn't want to put himself in a compromising position either. So whenever he's trending towards that darker shade of the gray, he always has his body in mind also. And so again, he's a competitive kid, and so he's going to try to get as ready as quick as he can. But ultimately, I don't think anybody wants to put him in a compromising position, just personally.
I think that's pretty obvious, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to risk anything, and especially because of what you've done in September. You're 5-0. You put yourself in really good position to not only compete for a conference championship, maybe possibly get to a college football playoff. But I think at the end of the day, we've kind of fallen back on this here over the last week and a half since the surgery. This is a game that John Mateer wants to play in, and if he's going to be able to play, I think you're going to see him out there.
Yeah, and the idea that he's able to throw the ball and he doesn't play in this game, I just don't buy that. So, again, we'll have to see how he progresses through the week. I'm very interested to see what he's labeled as on the availability report. I think that'll give us a little bit better sign. Like if you're out there and you're looking for the availability report, you want him to be listed as questionable, most likely. If he's doubtful early in the week, then I don't think he's going to be able to play. Obviously, probable would be great, or if he's not even on there, that means he's available. I think he's going to be questionable every single day, and we're not going to know until the coin toss. Like I think he'll warm up and everything. We won't know till the coin toss or the first time the OU offense goes out there if it's going to be John Mateer.
Keep him guessing a little bit, and as we kind of make the turn into the idea, and I think it's a realistic, I guess, possibility that he wouldn't be able to play. Or that you're going to have, and as Steve Sarkisian talked about on Monday during his press conference in Austin, they are going to have to prepare somewhat for both of these guys. I know he said that they'd be preparing for John Mateer, specifically in a way.
Yep.
But Michael Hawkins, it was asked of Ben Arbuckle on Tuesday about game planning for both of the guys, whether it be John Mateer or Michael Hawkins.
Yeah, it's a different scenario than a week ago, right? A week ago, they knew it was Michael Hawkins. Michael Hawkins was going to be the guy. He was the only one that practiced really that week, at least with the first team. And now this week, could John Mateer get in there and maybe he doesn't know until like Thursday or Friday if he's the starter. So that presents a difficult task for a Ben Arbuckle to try and, get Michael prepared, even though he may not play. So what does that look like? I'm not sure. I think both those guys do some things differently, especially the quarterback run game could be totally different if Michael Hawkins is back there versus a John Mateer. So it's certainly a difficult challenge, I would assume, for Ben Arbuckle this week.
Undoubtedly. Headed into his first Cotton Bowl. He talked about that a little bit on Tuesday afternoon. Having grown up, obviously, in the state of Texas, well aware of the OU-Texas rivalry at the Cotton Bowl. But here is Ben Arbuckle talking about kind of the juggling act of having to game plan, or if he does game plan, for both quarterbacks individually.
Prepare segments of 2 different game plans in case John can play, in case he doesn't, whether Michael goes the whole way, whether he doesn't, whatever.
Yeah. I think kind of similar to stuff that I said in the past, ultimately you got to do what puts the offense as a whole in position to be successful. And, whether it's Mike or it's John or it's anyone else to that fact, you got to do things that play to certain guys' strengths while also playing to the strengths of the offense that can give us an opportunity to be successful. So, yeah, is there maybe a few things here or there that, we do with Mike that we wouldn't do with John or vice versa? Absolutely. But, a lot of it, though, is playing to the strengths of what we do and then putting everybody, including the quarterback, in position to be successful.
Certainly interesting. It always feels like OU Texas Week is a little bit of a zoo.
There's always some drama,
and especially the last couple of years, obviously at the quarterback position. Ironically for Brent Venables, first time around, obviously for Ben Arbuckle. We did talk to some of the players on Monday night. Talked to Jaron Canick and Fabechi, just talking about the quarterback thing in general. But before we get to them, let us tell you about our good friends over at Huel. Got the shaker bottle right here.
Nice.
It's chaos in the mornings at my house, and the easy thing with the shaker bottle is being able to do it on the run. It's very easy to prepare for myself, living alone, living lonely, needing somebody. But breakfast is easy now with Huel.
Yeah, you can get the Black Edition powder, which I have right here. It's got 40 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber, 27 essential vitamins and minerals, Eddie. No added sugar, gluten-free, under $3 per meal, and ready in under 60 seconds. So when you have those, early mornings, you can use this. Get a complete meal out of it.
Believe me.
Or one of these. right here.
The shake, a little shake action. You also have the daily greens here in the green can. I know that Carrie has had the peach and hibiscus, has been saying it's good. You had it in front of me yesterday.
It was delicious.
Very good. All you have right there is 42 vitamins, minerals, and superfoods, only 25 calories, 4 grams of fiber, and only 1 gram of sugar. What you need to do if you want to get Huel involved in your life, just go to Huel.com/SoonerScoop. Use the exclusive promo code SoonerScoop to get 15% off your purchase for new customers. Thank you to our good friends over at Huel. Dispense. Clear out. While I'm talking, George will do that. We did talk to Jaron Kanik. We talked to Fabechi Wiwu as well. Little view of Campus Corner. It's a little gloomy today. Maybe OU's going to be back inside. Cold. It's not cold. The sun's been out.
Well, it was cold this morning.
It was cool this morning.
I am interested. Where are they going to practice today?
I know. That's going to be a super question for a number of people. I'll do some reporting on that later on this afternoon on the social medias. How about that?
Yeah.
There is a confidence, though, in both of these guys. Obviously, kind of one of those, what do you expect them to say? But I think there is something that rings true when you're talking to some of the players, as well as Brent Venables and Ben Arbuckle on Tuesday afternoon, just talking about Michael Hawkins' performance. This is the first time that we had talked to him or both of them since the game on Saturday night.
Yeah, and I think they know it can be better, right, with Michael. I think they know that he left some out there on the field, but I think other things around him also have to be better. And so I think as an offense as a whole, whether it's Mateer or Hawkins back there, they know that they need to perform at a higher level. So I do think that they feel confident if it has to be Michael this week, or maybe it's a combination. Maybe we see both guys out there. I don't know. They feel like either one can go out there and execute whatever game plan they come up with.
Here is Jaron Kanik, Fabechi Wiwu, Brent Venables, and Ben Arbuckle, just kind of talking about both quarterbacks and the confidence that comes with both of them.
I mean, he's a team guy. He's been around the whole time. So, seeing him out there in the jersey full pads isn't really surprising to me. I expected that because that's just the type of guy John is, No matter what's going on with him, he's going to be there for the team, looking like the team, a part of the team.
No, I mean, not at all. We have the utmost confidence in both those guys, whoever runs out there. And, like I said, we're just going to revert back to our standards as an offense. We're going to do what we do and go out there and don't let Oklahoma beat Oklahoma. And, we can have success no matter who runs out there. So we're behind both those guys, and we believe in both those guys.
I think Mike played really confident. I thought he had great eyes. He knew where to go with the ball, really on point a lot of times. There's some things maybe we could clean up just with his footwork that will allow him to make a throw a little bit easier, but Mike had really good command. He had really good awareness a lot of times of what was going on, and so I think that's things that you can build on. But one of the things that we can always get better at is just our footwork and our timing with certain things that I think will just make things a little bit easier for him. But Mike played really well. He prepared great, and he's taking that same process this week.
He came in and had good awareness, self-awareness, corrected mistakes, showed leadership, part of our leadership council, and he's able to articulate. We always kind of pull the curtains back on the bad stuff to make sure that we got great focus on how we're going to improve and get better and not make the same mistakes, moving forward. So he led the way from an accountability standpoint. Again, he played in a really efficient way. And did a great job taking care of the football, getting our offense into the end zone when we got to the red zone, 100% conversion rate down there, scoring touchdowns. And just made a lot of really good decisions, in the game. And like you would expect, there's some plays he'd rather get back, like to get back. And but there's also more, things that are involved, from, again, the things I talked about, route detail, protection, play calls, things of that nature.
Yeah, I think Mike did a great job, and the things that he needs to work on and improve on, he already knows and understands, and is taking ownership of that. And we all had a bunch of mistakes that we can clean up and fix. And so we're very excited moving forward. And like I said, we're just going to revert back to what we do and don't let Oklahoma beat Oklahoma.
Oklahoma heads into a Tuesday afternoon practice. It's kind of hard to imagine it's only Tuesday right now, but they head into a Tuesday afternoon practice. We'll be back here on the SoonerScoop.com YouTube channel with plenty more from Brent Venables and Ben Arbuckle, talking about just about everything else other than John Mateer or what's going on in the quarterback position. Obviously, running back Keontae Lewis certainly sounds like very, very positive news in terms of his recovery or whatever you want to call it from Saturday's spill in the north end zone.
Yeah, and we'll see if he can play this week. I still kind of doubt that he will be able to, but it sounds like he kind of came out of that unscathed. So that's great news.
But for John Mateer, it certainly doesn't sound like any fanboy fiction made up out of nowhere that there is a possibility that he's going to be the starting quarterback on Saturday.
No fanboy fiction.
Fanboy fan fiction.
Was that a ghost that said that?
Come on now, Catch. We're watching. We're watching you. We're watching you. It's OU Texas week. For George Stoya, I'm Eddie Radosevich. We will talk to you next time here on the SoonerScoop.com YouTube channel.